That was some... I
You
am
didn't do the
world's
countdown.
biggest idiot.
We even said, "Oh, you don't." There's no confirm.
Oh,
the nerves are getting to me because
Yeah.
everything's going wrong. It makes it hard to think.
It's fine,
Okay, I'll hold my hand up for time again.
and we'll cheer when it starts because this is the one. This is the
This
one.
is the one time for sure. All right, here we are. Jeez. Okay, so
So Hollow Knight is an indie Metroidvania.
it so is from 2017. It so is. So, with all of that trouble behind us, I suppose we should also give a quick shout out to my couch here, someone and Christian Royle. Very happy to have both of you. You will be filling in when I don't have time to talk because things are difficult, which will be relatively frequently because this game is hard. Case in point, I messed up the first quote-unquote trick of the run. What we're supposed to do there is do a little pogo off that Vengefly enemy to skip up to a platform a little bit early without needing to go around that left side. Unfortunately, I screwed it up. That's okay. Okay, missed that, but I can do a little cancel there. By opening the menu, as soon as you hit the ground hard, you can cancel the animation of needing to like stumble and get back up. So we're going to do that several times to speed things up a little bit, including coming right up after exiting King's Pass. There's a big, long cliff. And so when we hit the ground from that, we're going to do that same trick again right here. Oh,
Did we hit the Elderbug incentive?
Yeah, did we?
Did we hit Elderbug?
Did we hit Elderbug or not?
we did hit Elderbug, I believe.
We did?
Let's just wait for confirmation from our lovely host.
Did we hit Elderbug?
Yes, we did indeed
Hey,
hit
all right,
Elderbug.
Then we will say
Excellent.
hello to Elderbug.
Hello, Elderbug.
Hi,
I don't
Elderbug.
speak Chinese. So,
He said we're very nice young individuals.
indeed, indeed. Respect your elders, everyone. Oh, crying out loud. I'm really fiddling with my microphone too much. I'll stop that. I gotta relax a little bit. Good grief. We've
Hey,
got our
it's-
tech issues sorted.
Tech issues
Yeah.
fixed. Now we just need to lock in.
Whee!
Oh, excellent.
That
Yeah.
feels good. That's a frame perfect trick on this patch. On other patches of the game, older patches, you'd be able to open the menu in midair and it would just uncap your falling speed. It's a little oversight. So you get to go nice and fast. But on this patch and later, that trick is actually frame perfect when you fall off of a ledge. So the fact that I managed to hit it that smoothly is very welcome. Right there, we use that falling stalactite to kill the two aspids all in one go, which is great because those take 3 hits of our nail to kill. So naturally, killing them with that one stalactite goes way faster.
So what patch are you playing on?
Yeah, this is patch 1.4.3.2, which in my opinion is the best patch. But obviously there's contention. It's not the fastest patch, not by any means. For any percent NMG, 1221 is easily the fastest patch because it has sort of all of the relevant glitches and everything still on it. So that's very good. But 1432, at the time I started playing, was the current patch. And so when I learned any percent NMG current patch, that was the patch I played on. And since then, a couple more patches have been released, 1.5 up to, I think, 1.53. I'm not too sure. It doesn't matter too much. But as of 1.5, a couple of changes were made that made it more or less impossible, or at least not viable, to run this category on the 2 different routes that we used to have. And so we are now sort of still using 1432 alongside 1.5 as sort of a combined current patch. It's a whole thing. But I run on 1432 because of reasons having to do with that. In any event, I'm going to have to take some damage here to make it past False Knight because I really need to get to the left. Because we're not actually going to finish fighting False Knight. We're just going to leave. You can break open that wall as soon as he's done raging, and then you don't actually have to finish the fight. Now, that does mean that you can't get into City of Tears, at least normally. But we will not be going into City of Tears normally. So we don't really mind. We're not going to kill
do
it.
anything normally.
Exactly, right?
When do we do anything normally?
Well,
Exactly.
actually, this hole coming up a little bit here, Ancestral Mound, is not going to have much of anything interesting in it. So I see that there's a donation there. You can go ahead and read that.
Thank you very much. This comes from 074 at home, and it's a €50 donation.
Wow.
And it says, thanks for minding mind. Very mindful of you. Now run, knight, run. And that goes towards the kill or save animals incentive. And it goes to save.
Hey, save the animals. And now I wish I brought my Save the Animals t-shirt, but alas.
Well, we got a lot of animals on the couch
Yeah,
at the very
we
least.
have an
We
owl,
have like 10
a pony,
hedgehogs.
an alligator, a cat, a Pokemon, a evil Jack Frost, and
Dark Jack Frost.
an abundance of hedgehogs, I see.
Oh, there's also another Totodile
Oh,
buried
there's
in
another
the
one.
hedgehogs.
And then there's just a dog off to the side.
Oh, that's excellent. Yeah, no,
He's
the
feeling
whole
a bit
couch
woof
is
right
sort
now,
of
so I'll
full.
let him be.
It's wonderful. Anywho, going through Ancestral Mound here, we are sort of using all of a variety of different movement techniques to go a little bit quicker. So we're doing pogos, i.e. downward slashes in the air, where you can bounce off of enemies, sort of DuckTales style. Like I was talking about before, we're going to be using those constantly. They're just very useful. We're also doing a bunch of other things, including the new ability we just got, which is the Fireball, or Vengeful Spirit, as it's properly called. It's just a simple projectile attack. It costs 3 soul to use, and for reference, we generate 1 soul point every time we hit an enemy with the nail. It's that gauge up in the top left. Now, the Fireball does significant amounts of damage, just about the equivalent of 3 nail hits at the moment, though that is going to increase later. And it goes straight through enemies, so it's very useful if you need to hit multiple enemies at once, or just sort of want to speed up a boss fight or anything like that. But it's also useful for these little mini-bosses, the boulders, because if you get too close to them to try to hit them with your nail, they curl up into a ball and become totally invincible. So we need the Fireball to kill them, because we have to kill them from range. And they're blocking the way to the next area, Green Path, where we're trying to get, so we do really need that.
Ooh, a fun skip is upcoming, if I'm not mistaken.
That's true. If I can get it, there's a skip
so
involving
yeah.
the Fireball.
Yes. You also got good RNG in that boulder, because boulders can either shoot their like molten spit at you, or they can fire a smaller version of a boulder. And you don't quite have enough soul to kill them in one cycle of just having full soul and killing them down. So you can lose time in that section by not getting them to spit a boulder at you, so you get your soul back. However, is the first thing he did, so it's just no issue, it's just straight away.
Oh,
Yeah.
almost. Going for the
That's
backup?
Oh,
Yep.
Yeah, so going to lure this Vengefly up there. And then pogo off it. There you go.
Yeah, nice and easy.
That's actually a squid. In
squid?
case you care.
Yeah, there's slightly different variations of different enemies throughout the entirety of Green Path.
There's so many of them.
Nice little damage boost there. Very cute strat there. Love that. Oh, okay. Well, I missed both Fireball skips, but so be it. On the plus side, that means I've got a little bit of extra soul to work with, which I normally wouldn't have. So that does sort of work out. Okay, missed the backup. Kind of sad. It's all right. The extra soul means that I can just take a quick heal here, so that we're full up on health again, heading into this next section of Green Path, which is going to be useful, actually, because this section of Green Path can be very aggressive at times, between all of these different projectile-based enemies and this little mini-boss coming up, and it's just a whole thing.
Yeah, Green Path casually isn't too bad, but then when you try to do it fast, there's these easy trip-ups.
Yeah,
I'd say so, yeah.
that's another advantage of having a full soul, is you can just fire 3 fireballs rather than having to weave in any nail hits, so it just goes instantly.
Yep.
It just whoop.
Moss
it's done.
Knight has a decent amount of health, but fireballs do a lot of damage. That works out. And we're going to do a very similar thing on an actual boss coming up in just a second here. This is going to be Vengefly King, where I'm going to hit it with a number of fireballs. Okay, hang on. Backup strats. Nice.
There
All right.
you go.
What
Easy.
boss? I didn't see it.
But believe it or not, that was an incredibly slow kill. That was like embarrassingly slow.
I think that's still faster than I've ever done it.
That menu drop that I just did, opening the menu the frame I walk off the ledge, that lost time. That's it takes a couple of frames of lag every time that you do it, and so that menu drop, because you fall right into the door, it doesn't actually really save any time, but you do lose a frame or two to lag. So it's great. Anyway, this year's Hornet, this is sort of the first big hurdle for people playing this casually. This is a pretty tough boss fight. She's got like a lot of health, a lot of annoying movement and stuff. But lucky for me, I know exactly what to do.
I also believe she's got her own game coming soon, right?
So soon, so soon. Day 2007, in case anyone's counting. It's me, I'm counting. Been 2007 days since the announcement of Hollow Knight Silksong. Anyway, right here I'm just going to get this new ability and then save quit back to the Ancestral Mound. So while I'm navigating through the menu, we'll have a second for donations.
Thank you very much. We have a €8 donation from Sentinel that says, I named my Blowhigh Wally. May he now ascend to Pokemon. And that goes towards the Kyogre name incentive for Wally.
Excellent. Thank you very much. So that new ability we just got is the Mothwing Cloak. My microphone being weird again. Oh no. The Mothwing Cloak is just a straightforward dash. It stalls your movement in the air like this, and every time that you hit the ground or pogo off of an enemy, it refreshes. So you can use it sort of a little limitedly, but we're going to do our best to, you know, pogo off of enemies where needed and keep resetting it and do a bunch of smooth movement. The first of that is going to come up in just a second here in Fungal Wastes, the next place we want to go. Okay, there we go. Fungal Wastes is just a quick little detour to get yet another upgrade. Honestly,
Wow.
sort of the same.
Wow! Wow! Wow!
Yeah, the Shroomle Warriors make very funny noises.
My favorite area.
It's pretty great. Unfortunately, we really only spend like a minute and a half in here.
I still can't believe we
Ideally.
got Owen Wilson to voice those.
Rare.
Wow!
Wow.
Wow!
Us watching this run. Wow.
Wow! Wow!
Yep. So, no, Fungal Wastes is where the mantises live, and so the mantises have this item that we really want, which is the Mantis Claw. It's going to just be a wall jump, which we obviously really want to do a bunch of movement and stuff. So I'm going to do a cute little trick there. That's called Explosion Pogo.
That still looks so sick.
It's very cool. Way harder than it looks, I might add.
I'm surprised you got that first try.
I don't usually.
I will. Don't be. I've seen you practice that, and I have not seen you miss it. So unless you're hiding your failures from me, I'm just going to assume your cracks at basically every game.
I had to.
Come on, mate. I'm going to keep trying it just because this trick is so sick. There we
Ooh,
go.
the
All right.
damage
Nice.
boost.
Yeah, that deserves some claps.
Okay, so that's Mantis Pogo. Needless to say, that's a difficult trick. I think that much is clear.
Yeah.
But that gets us to the Mantis Claw here, and I'm just going to immediately save quit out again, same as before, because Ancestral Mound, where we're currently saved, is just a really convenient place to be. It's right in the middle of everything. It's going to get us to where we want to go much quicker than if we had to walk there. So that's great.
Mantis Claw is a wall jump, by the way.
Yep.
Yeah.
And it's sort of Mega Man X style, if you will, where you can wall jump off of any given one wall. You don't need to like go back and forth. It's a very powerful ability.
If there's a flat edge that's going upwards, you can get on top. You can get onto it. You can jump.
Yep. Very convenient. We're going to use it for a number of skips, but also mostly just for general movement. And we just sort of need it to beat the game. Even low percent gets it, if I recall correctly. At least some routes of low percent. I know that we used to get it. Maybe that's changed. In any event, with the Mantis Claw in tow, we're actually finally going to sort of leave this whole triangle of areas behind us. We're going to head east now, and so I'm going to make a small detour here just to pay for the Stag Station in Forgotten Crossroads. We're not going to use that for another maybe 20 minutes, but when we do, it'll come in great handy because the Stag Stations are just fast travel points, right? You can travel from one to the other whenever you want, anytime that you reach one. And so opening that up in advance is going to be very useful later. Right now, we've got another boss fight coming up. This one also shouldn't last long. This is Gru's mother. Now, I'm going to do it a little bit carefully here. Oh, there we go. So when Gru's mother dies, the real boss fight begins because she's going to spawn several little gruzzers. Gruzzers is what they're called. We already saw a bunch of these enemies in the room called Gruzzer Drop, where I did that cool menu drop at the start. But when Gru's mother spawns a bunch of them, it can get really annoying. Now, that went very smoothly. I had a lot of extra soul left, which is why I took it a little bit slowly on the actual fight. So I can just sort of throw a bunch of fireballs at where they're going to spawn. And that's going to just kill most of them, and then I can clean up from there. But it doesn't always go that well because the place that they actually spawn is random. And so sometimes they're a little bit more spread out and it doesn't go quite that smoothly. Now, right there, I built the Shaman Stone charm from Salubra. That's the only charm we're going to get this run. And what it does is it increases the damage of our spells by 33%. So our Fireball now does 4 nail hits worth of damage instead of just 3. And it also slightly increases the size of our spells' hitboxes.
Detail, come
Yeah.
on.
Oh, yeah, I
come
know. I'm so
on.
bad. I know. It's awful. You believe that after all those tech issues, I even had the goal to die?
I thought you
Crazy.
had all
Oh,
the stress out
dang it.
already.
That's
Nah,
just
that's
a little bit
unlucky.
of bad luck there.
Oh,
Yeah, that's unfortunate. If you get that fireball attack, you have to change the way that you're manipulating the shade, but that doesn't happen very often, so I'm not used to it. That's my bad.
nice.
There we go. So when you die in this game,
Yeah, thought that was good.
thank you. It spawns that little shade enemy, and so we can use that to pogo, just like any other enemy. And so we use the Mantis Claw and the Mothwing Cloak and the pogo off the shade to sort of make our way up to that high ledge. And this is what allows us to get into City of Tears after all, despite not killing False Knight. But we're going to get there through the Resting Grounds area, where we are right now, which is going to be a nice little pit stop, because there's a hard required item in here that we will need to get. And so doing it like this means we don't need to go all that far out of our way for that. So that's nice. This here cutscene is just a whole bunch of lore and stuff.
Oh, hey, that looks important.
I'm sure it is, but unfortunately I have no idea what it says. In case you're wondering, yes, Mandarin Chinese is the fastest language for this game. It scrolls instantly, and it has the most compact text of all of the languages that scroll instantly. So it's the easy, correct choice. Talking to Elderbug earlier, thank you, by the way, lost about 7 seconds because I'm running on Mandarin Chinese. If I was running on German, which is the slowest language, it would have cost about 15 seconds instead.
That's a lot of time.
I'm just going to
alone.
do a little platforming section here, nothing much going on, so that donation should be all clear.
I'm so happy you're not running on your own laptop right now.
Me too.
For reference, this is a section that usually lags a lot on not so great laptops, as well as the ports on Switch.
If you fall here on a not so powerful PC, it lags your game out until you reload a second time. So usually if I fall there on my own computer, I just immediately fall a second time just to clear the lag, because nah. I'm going to try to do a trick called sear skip here.
Nice, that looks good.
That looks good.
Yeah, there it is.
Not quite. Not tight
Oh.
enough. Unfortunate. If I had made it to the end of that ledge while the knight was still getting up, I would have gotten uncapped folding speed, same way as if when you do a menu drop, like I was talking about earlier. But I wouldn't have had to do a frame perfect input for it, so naturally that would have been nice. Unfortunately, didn't quite make it. But in order to try to make it, I had to just commit to going all the way out there, so I couldn't even take the time to set up a menu drop as a backup. So it was just sort of slow all around, but alas. This next section here is City of Tears, which we're only going to visit once. This would normally sort of be a hub area where you come back to again and again and again. We're not going to do that, though. We're just going to pick up a bunch of money and get one of the Dreamers, which are going to be our main objectives going forward. That's what that cutscene in the Resting Grounds earlier was telling us about. And then we're just going to leave again and never come back here. For right now, I'm just going about collecting a whole bunch of money. So if the host has anything to say, now is, again, a decent time.
Thank you very much. We have a €11 donation from Fabi saying, let's get that milestone out of our way. And that goes to the voiceover choice English, €11.
And we have a 20 euro donation from Curix. I hope I said that right. Good luck to Detail from its big sister and her partner, Bapa Nada.
Apanada.
Pampanada.
Yeah.
And that
Doge.
goes to the kill or save animals incentive, and they put it towards Dave.
Excellent. Thank you very much, guys. So I went into the King's Station just there. That's another one of those stag stations that I was talking about before. I didn't open it yet, though, because I don't have enough money for that. But I will be doing that later. Mostly I went in there to collect a relic. which are just these little collectible items that don't really do anything, but that you can sell for a whole bunch of money. So basically, I just grabbed a bunch of money because we're going to sell those later. And then immediately afterwards, just here, we went into that bathhouse to kill the gorgeous husk, which drops 420 geo when defeated. I'm not sure it's supposed to be an implication, but I'd believe it. In any event, like I said before, we're here in City of Tears to get a bunch of money, but also to get a Dreamer, and that's where we're headed next. We're going to go up the Watcher's Spire here, and this is a cool little skip. Pogoing off that background object on the floor there skips an entire ability and the region that it's in and the boss fight it's locked behind. We do not need to go there ever, which is for the best, because that would have taken a very long time, all because of that one innocuous little pogo. So it's a nice little trick.
I'll be honest, I've been watching Hollow Knight speedruns so often that I forgot which ability we skipped.
It's the Mothwing Cloak.
Oh,
no,
right.
Is it Mothwing?
Monarch Wings.
Monarch Wings, that's it. Mothwing Cloaks you do get.
Yeah, that's the dash.
I'm terrible at remembering names.
Oh, that's the double jump we skipped.
Yeah.
Yep.
But because
Exactly.
the pogo is just so powerful in this game.
Oh, dear. Okay, hang on a second. Oh, boy. Okay. Now, luckily, I did take a safety bench before this, so if I do die, we won't need to... Well, okay. We won't need to backtrack
Health
very
reset.
far.
It's a health reset. That's what it is.
Health reset. Yeah. Honestly, it might not even make that much of a difference, given the fact that I was at 1. I would have had to take so much time to heal. You might honestly be right. I'm not even sure that this wasn't faster. So that's fine then. This guy's very annoying. I'm going to open this door just for safety. That won't come into play unless I die on this upcoming boss fight. But unfortunately, that's all too likely.
It is very, very tough.
Yeah. So at this point, I'm going to throw it over to mostly Christian, probably. You would know better than most here the pain of this fight.
Yeah. I am on this couch as I am a attempted learner of this speedrun. I have learned up to this section because this section is the skill floor of the run. Because here you have the Watcher Knights, and you have to fight, I think it's 6. However, because of what it just did, you go up to the top and you can drop a chandelier, which you can see in the background has cracked open one of the Watcher Knights. Now, the Watcher Knights on their own are fine as a thing. You can just dash in and out. You can obviously see that they see how detail is going in and out, sort of hitting it. However, at a point in time, if they're not fast enough, you can see, oh, another one spawned. And you can also see as the corruption and the infection is going into another one. So now they need to deal 2 at a time. The biggest pain of this is, as you can see, is when they jump around like that. And this gets very hard to predict and dodge as they need to jump up and over.
Oh, but a nice heal.
Oh, yeah, that's a really good heal to get. Get a good pogo. Oh, there's another one down. Oh, that was a short one. So now the plan is to, while the next one is coming up, is to burn down the other one. Nice. Getting that out. Getting damage off. That's good. Oh. Keeping them both close together is one of the most important things in this fight because it makes them so much easier to handle.
Yeah, in general, this fight requires you to keep track of a lot of different things at once.
Getting another good heal, nice. So now they are down to the last one, which usually means it's time. First try.
Let's go.
I don't think I can understate how difficult doing the Watcher Knights is, because this is something it expects you to do once you have nail upgrades, spell upgrades, so
And
you can
even
actually
then,
deal
I
them.
struggled with it.
Same. I think I had to go to like 3 nail upgrades and upgraded spells before I was able to actually beat them, just casually.
They're tough.
It is insane how tough the Watcher Knights are.
And I can't believe that it fought it with just
First try,
Yeah.
base nail, base spell level. They have the one charm that both their spells, but even still,
even then.
it's as close to base as you can get to fight one of the, I'd say it's the most technical boss in this speedrun, just because of how you need to basically dance around the enemies doing random attacks, random patterns.
I'll agree with that, for sure. They're a very similar fight to the final boss, but like the fact that there's two of them that you have to track at the same time, it just demands so much more presence of mind. It's a really tough fight, hence why I shut up for it. One of the only times you'll see me shut up throughout this run, probably. But yeah, during this cutscene here, we got plenty of time for a quick donation.
Talking about the presence of mind.
Thank you very much. So, hey now. Guys, 10 euro donation from Killer Chair. I hope you had some good food before the run. You always do better when you've had some grub. Oh, and then don't let this bun bug you too much, winky face. You can't get away from my puns, Detail. Also, Quirrell, best boy.
Quirrell
this
is
goes towards,
we love Quirrell.
This goes towards the Kyogre name incentive, and he wants to name it Waylord.
Excellent. Thank you, KC. Gosh, last year I did a 2 players 1 controller run of this category with a buddy of mine at BSG Annual, and Killer was there commentating it, and he made terrible insect puns the entire time. So I'm glad to see the tradition continued.
As he should.
Yeah, I still have flashbacks of that one.
It was a good time.
Yeah, I also remember Watch Your Nights being even more horrible, if you can believe it.
And yet, first try.
Yeah.
Nice.
And then he also decides to just finish it off with another frame perfect menu drop right after it.
Indeed. But that one is, interestingly, slightly easier than most. The menu drop back down the Watcher Spire has a little setup to it where the turnaround animation of the knight is basically just perfectly consistent. So if you time a menu drop with that rather than walking off of a ledge normally, it's a little bit easier to get it. Still, you know, tough, but the timing gets, well, not more lenient, but more obvious, I guess, is the way I would put it.
Yeah, that's fair enough.
Anyway, just there, we went down to the fountain to go talk with Lem, because after you beat the Watcher Knights, he goes out for a walk, and so he's not manning his shop, but we want to sell our stuff. So he had to tell him, like, hey, dude, get back to your shop. I want to sell my stuff. So now he went back to his shop, and we can sell our stuff. Perfect. So this will gets us another 1100 geo, which puts us firmly at 2326. Perfect. 2300 is the magic number there. As long as I have 2300, we are A-okay, probably for the rest of the run. So that is perfect.
Even when saving Hollow Nest, you need to take part in hustle culture.
So true. We just sold a bunch of priceless artifacts. Now, admittedly, we sold them to a curator, so I'm sure they'll be taken well care of, but it's still, you know, questionable maybe.
But you know, if you want to participate in hustle culture, you can always hustle some money to mine.
So true. Excellent point. Yeah, hang on, let me see if I can
Shout
grab
out
this.
to mine.
I could not get that. Unfortunate. There's a cool little jump there where you jump off the very edge of that platform so you can reach the platform up at the top. It saves a tiny bit of time, and it's very difficult, but it doesn't really cost any time to go for it, so you may as well. And it is super sick when it works. But unfortunately, it didn't work. Now, this is our first instance of using a stack station here. This is what I was talking about before, the King's Station that I didn't open before, but I'm doing it now. And so we're going to use that to fast travel back to Dirtmouth, the town at the start of the game where Elderbug lives, because the shopkeep here, Sly, has something we want. This is the main reason we've been collecting all of this money, because he has an incredibly overpriced flashlight for sale. I don't know. That just does not seem like a bargain to me. You could spend 150 on an extension of your soul that makes you tougher to kill, or 1,800 on a lamp.
I mean, supply and demand, you know. So like, there's demand to be able to see. But I don't. You're the only the knight is the one that is hollow enough.
Yeah, nobody else.
To actually try and save Hollow Nest.
True.
Hey, nobody else wants to go where that lamp is required.
Exactly.
Also true. Oh, there we go. All right. A little bit scuffed there, but using the Vengeflies to pogo my way on up through that room nice and quick. Didn't quite work out the way that I wanted it to, but it's fine. I should be healing here before the door goes down. Bit of an oopsie, but still worked out.
And now into Crystal Peak.
Yeah, this place is tough. It's all cycle-based. Everything in this area is just like cycles, cycles, and more cycles on the lasers, on the crystals falling, on the enemies, on everything. And so I'm going to have to navigate through that. And if I ever make a mistake, I might get off cycle, and everything could go really bad really quickly, like right here. Okay, we're still good. Cool. Oh, boy. 2 fireballs will dispatch that guy. Then I dash over this cap. Go climb up these conveyor belts. Now we're on into the first sort of good cycle-based room. Going to do a bunch of crispy little movement. Or not. All right. So I'm off cycle now, which means I'm going to have to probably wait. Oh, nice. Okay. Sort of worked out.
Nice.
Caught the second cycle on, so I didn't even have to pause. Still a little slow, but yeah. Pogoing off that pickaxe real quick. It's easier than it looks. You just sort of make it up there. It's nice.
I don't know.
You don't tell them it's easy. You just be like, oh yeah, this is frame perfect pickaxe jump.
Of course, yeah. No, yeah, I'm the only one that can do that, actually.
I don't know if it's only me, but every time I see crystal peaks and the minor bugs, my heart just dies a little.
Oh yeah.
Poor Myra, or Myla, sorry. It's been a while since I played this game on a language I can read, so you'll pardon me. Oh.
Are you doing underplat a little early?
A little bit, yeah. Needless to say, I wasn't supposed to do that. Pretend you didn't see it. Oh God. No. Thank you, someone. Intentional damage boost there to iframe through the second laser. Looks a little bit sketch, but it's totally by design. Underplat.
Underplat.
Yay. I shouldn't do that at 2 masks, but whatever.
But you did it, so.
I'm notoriously bad at that, even if it is kind of easy. So, like, I really shouldn't do that with this little health. Anyway.
Yeah, I still don't know if that saves any time.
It does. It does. It is actively fast. You know, you should go for it, in theory. But I don't like to when I don't have a lot of health. Anyway, that all gets us the Crystal Dash ability. And so I'm going to save quit again, as is tradition when we get a new ability. This time, though, we go back to Dirtmouth. This is why I sat on the bench when we got here. Crystal Dash is what I just did. It's you charge up for a bit, and then you go zooming off either left or right. You can't go any other direction with it. But it's very fast, so that's already useful. Fuck you. But then furthermore, we're going to use it to do a couple of... Really? We're going to use it to do a couple of skips. The first
they do
of
not
which
like
is coming
you in
up.
that room.
They really don't. That's that same room that I menu dropped through right at the start. But unfortunately, once the crossroads gets infected, the gruzzers in that room get a lot bigger and a lot meaner. And so, you know, that didn't work out great for me, but so be it.
Nice catch.
Nice.
Nice.
Hey, that's crossroads acid skip. That's the easy one. There's a much harder one coming up maybe 5 minutes from now, but we're not there yet. Ooh, shouldn't have fallen there, but alas. So we've now entered into Fog Canyon with that little sequence break in Crossroads Acid Skip. This is where the second of our 3 Dreamers is, specifically right here in this building. So this is Monomon, the Teacher's Archive. And there's really just one boss fight in here, and that's sort of it. But it's a difficult boss fight, so I'm going to quickly safety save before we get there. That's just a quick way to heal. But also, you know, if I die, I don't want to respawn all the way back in Dirtmouth, do I? So that's definitely for the best.
Does sound less than ideal.
Yeah, it's not great. Now, Ilmio, which is the boss fight that's here, is, as we like to say, 2 things. A jellyfish and stupid. This whole boss fight is RNG for the most part. And so I'm going to just like manipulate her position by kiting her to certain places or hitting her with the dream nail to push her back. But the main way that this fight works is that she's invincible until Coral comes and stabs a hole in her armor. But until that time, we just have to sit here and wait for her to be done attacking. And unfortunately, there's a random chance for her to do an extra attack every cycle. So 3 rather than 2. And on the first cycle, it's always 3. But from there on, it's supposed to be 2. So I'm really going to be sad anytime we see an extra attack, because it means that I just sort of have to wait without really doing anything. Now, we can use the Dream Nail here to build soul without needing to actually be able to hit her, which is great against an invincible opponent. But unfortunately, trying to kite her to the correct locations so you can sort of farm soul effectively can be difficult.
Yeah, this is like as close to an auto-scroller as a Metroidvania can get. But then you
Pretty
still
much.
have to like dodge, actually.
Yep.
Nice,
Oh,
got a couple of
no.
double hits.
I'm pretty sure she's exactly 2 nail hits away right now. We'll test that theory on this next cycle. Really unfortunate. Got very close, but oh well. No extra attacks. None at all. So that's at least nice. Okay, no, she was a lot further away than that. Wow, a lot further. What? Did I miscount the number of cycles? Was that only the third?
That was the third, yes.
Okay, that explains a lot. I was about to say, there's no way, but yeah, all right. There we are then.
It always feels so bad. Up. Oh.
We're fine. We're fine.
Everything is fine. Everything is fine. Don't panic.
Don't worry about it.
We're just over acid that will set us back if we land in it because we skipped an ability, as per speedrunners do. But everything's fine.
Everything is so fine. There is actually an alternate route of this category that's relatively recent. It features a relatively new trick called Stole Ball, which would actually get the ability that makes you immune to acid rather than the Crystal Dash. But that category, or that route is extremely difficult because Stole Ball is extremely difficult. And so I'm not doing it. But it is a cool category, and that would make the Teacher's Archives section a little bit easier because you would be able to fall in the acid without any repercussions. So that's nice. Anywho, that all done, we get Monomon the teacher here. So that's our second of the 3 dreamers. If the host has anything to say, now would be a great time.
Okay, Yato, do you see the screen that Detail is playing on? I don't even know what that is. Do you know what that is?
No way, that's an amazing screen. Tell me all about it.
Oh, that's a AOC gaming monitor. It has a 144 hertz refresh rate, 1 millisecond respawn.
Just a demonstration of the acid. Like people weren't so sure about it, so just need to make sure.
You can see the dead in 4K.
Oh, caught in 4K.
Joking aside, they're great monitors, though.
They are. They are. Very crisp.
I can watch myself be bad at video games in higher quality.
All right. Coming back out of Teacher's Archives, I'm going to save at this bench again. There's a difficult trick coming up that I could very well die on, and so I don't want to respawn down at Monomon's tomb. I would like to respawn closer to where that trick is, so hence that bench. I've been grinding a little bit of soul this entire time. I'm just going to use that to potentially heal if I mess this trick up, which I will. So let's see here. I didn't. Sweet.
Oh. That is significantly harder than it made it seem.
Like, significant. That is, bar none, the hardest single thing in this run, I would argue. Watcher Knights is just practice, right? You just have to get good at that. Queen's Garden's Acid Skip, which is what that just was, is, like, you can't. It just gets you sometimes, right? It's one of those. It's just really, really difficult. And in practice, it took me, like, upwards of 10 attempts every time.
I like how it called itself good just now.
Oh, you caught me. Caught in 4K once again.
Hey, to be fair, I don't disagree. You've been doing these things, not me.
Oh, God. Hang on, let me just... That wasn't a clean Mantis Arena, but it went okay. As long as I don't die in that room, I'm happy, to be honest. You know, obviously those Petras can get very annoying with these sort of spinning projectiles that go back and forth. You really have to manage sort of where you are and where they're going to throw the projectiles so that you can keep yourself safe. But that gets very difficult when there's 2 of them. So it's sort of tricky. There's a manip that I'm supposed to do where they go into the corner and I can just sort of hit them with fireballs and kill them that way. But unfortunately, I did mess that up, so I had to sort of resort to improvising. But luckily, they don't have that much health, so that sort of worked out.
Yeah.
I just say it's like the world balancing act of hitting QJ first time.
Yeah.
Hey, to be
I
fair,
feel like I am just jinxing it at this point.
hey,
a little.
To be fair, I do want to point out that it is playing on a different controller than they usually
That
do.
is also very
So,
true.
like-
I remember trying to play a game just like somewhere else when I was in university. Like, I'll just use someone else's controller and do this speed run.
Yeah, and then
And
first try Acid Skip and first try Watcher Knights on that.
Yeah.
True. Now, you know, what we don't need to say, but what I will say is that I did actually used to run this game on a controller basically identical to this one maybe 6 months ago. But
Well,
You
6
know.
months is a long time.
That's true. That's true. It's a shame that my controller didn't want to work though, because yeah, this does feel a little bit weird, but that's okay.
Hey, shoutouts to KC for getting your
Shoutouts.
controller though.
It's like he said before we started. Last year we had to play on his Steam account, and this year I'm playing with his controller. He's just always helping me out. Thank you so much, Casey. Really appreciate you. So anyway, this here's Deep Nest. The lantern that we got from Sly in order to get into Crystal Peaks is coming in handy again, because Deep Nest would normally be very dark. Oh, shit. But the lantern is lighting up these rooms, making it easier to navigate. Now, I know where to go, of course, but it's still helpful just to be able to make all these jumps a little bit smoother. Whoopsie. Now, I did take a little bit of damage, but if I'm good, that shouldn't matter. So I'm not going to heal. I will do a funny little glitch here, just as a showcase. If you just hold hard left or right the entire time this cutscene plays, then the funny little music of like, oh no, they're gonna get you, is gonna not play when it's supposed to, and then instead start playing once you spawn in here, and then not stop until you enter another loading zone. So you can hear sort of there's this dinky little string tune going on in the background. That's not supposed to be there. It's gonna be here for about a minute, and it's great.
You know Wolf's gonna be here for a minute.
Yeah, this is a tough area. This is a Stalking Devout. We have to kill 2 of these. They have a lot of health, and their faceplate makes them invulnerable from the front, except to fireballs, of course. And so we have to sort of wait out their whole big swinging attack, and then hit them with those fireballs afterwards. So this whole area is sort of about managing your soul and just really avoiding getting hit, especially by the Devouts, because their slashing attack does a whopping 2 masks of damage, not just 1. Really don't want to get hit by that.
Gotta say, that bug music adds a lot to the atmosphere.
It does, doesn't it?
This feels more appropriate for the run, I'll be honest.
It's silly, like me. Now, a couple of those hits were intentional. That last one wasn't. I'm going to just run with it because I've got a lot of soul. Let's see if I'm good. Cool.
Nice.
Yeah, you are good with it.
Gosh. Those are tough. The way that you'd normally like to fight them is you'd come to one with full soul. You'd hit them with 3 fireballs, and then you'd wait for them to start an attack, dash into them before they can actually do it, so that you get hit by their face, not the glaives. And so you're only going to take 1 damage rather than 2, but then you have iframes to get through the actual attack, and in the meantime, you can just keep hitting them. So that's nice and quick. Obviously, you can't do that when you're at 1 health. So, a bit unfortunate there. Once again, during a Dreamer cutscene, we have time for donations.
Well, thank you very much. We got €5 donation from Esper Bucket. I would like Panda to explain more about the AOC gaming monitor, please.
Go for it. You have time. Go for it.
Oh yeah, so these AOC gaming monitors are pretty dang amazing. They have 144 Hz refresh rate, 1 milliseconds response time, low input lag, and 6 gaming modes, ensuring our games have the smoothest performance possible. Thank you, AOC, for being the GOAT with these monitors.
Are you okay back there? This is a sponsor read.
I've been looking at them like dying from laughter.
They're completely losing it.
We heard them dying from laughter while they were going through the maze. We're going, oh, so what don't know has been sent. And it was a sponsor read?
We're just doing plugs now, I guess.
It was funny, though. Gosh. So anyway, just now in Deep Nest, we got Hera the Beast, the last of the 3 Dreamers. And so that means the Black Egg Temple is unsealed, and we can go fight the final boss. I'm going to show off a funny little glitch here before we actually get there. This is called Black Egg Temple Cutscene Glitch. I'm going to stand at the edge of this platform and do a crystal dash. And so when you reach the egg, the cutscene starts. But because we're dashing, we interrupt it, and we fly off into the corner where we're not supposed to be. And now we're locked into the animation of the crystal dash while we're moving around like normal. It looks very silly.
Fish.
It's great.
Fish.
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 Return to fish.
Fish.
The hollow fish.
Now, there's a chance that I get a soft lock here. There's a backup save for that, so don't worry. But let's see if it happens. It doesn't. Sweet.
Yay.
Nice.
Hollow Knight has a funny little thing called infinite load glitch, which is exactly what it sounds like. It's in a room transition, the game just loads forever and never finishes. And it's slightly more likely to happen on the Hollow Knight boss arena than anywhere else. So that's great when you're doing speedruns. Just swell.
Oh yeah, plot twist. That is the Hollow Knight.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This,
Yeah.
I realize we have said nothing about the story.
Yeah,
at
like
all.
the story we're just going through. Oh yeah, by the way, there's an infection coming, and the current infection is held in by the Hollow Knight.
Orange.
How the orange juice is escaping the Hollow Knight. as you can see by the crack in the Hollow Knight's skull, it is slowly escaping and seeping away into the rest of Hollow Nest. And they need another vessel to contain the infection. And that's what it is. There's a lot more to the story, such as you have a character called the Pale King, who had several children trying to make them hollow enough to contain the infection by having no soul, no soul, no emotion. There's a whole mantra to it. I cannot remember off the top of my head.
Yeah.
It's like,
So our solution is to sip all the orange.
yeah, we're very thirsty.
Very thirsty. Now, while we're memeing, this is actually quite a hard fight.
Yeah.
I don't know what you're talking about.
This is like more difficult than a single Watcher Knight
Oh, yeah.
at once, but
Easily.
less difficult than 2 Watcher Knights at once, I say.
At
At least in my experience.
1.5 Watcher Knight.
Yeah, I'd say it's 1.5 Watcher Knights.
I'll agree with that.
The Watcher Knight scale.
Now, same as with Watcher Knights, though, we are fighting it with an incredibly low amount of equipment compared to what you're supposed to have. You know, at this point, the game expects you to have upgraded spells, upgraded nail, more health, the invincible dash, the double jump, all this stuff. But I say I don't need it, and so we're just going to kill him normally. Here in Phase 3, the Hollow Knight starts to stab themselves, which is very convenient. It doesn't actually do any damage, but it does just mean that they stand still, which is essentially damage, right? Because I can just hit them while they're doing that. But unfortunately, while they're stabbing themselves, all damage done to them is reduced to 1. So I'm not going to hit them with the fireballs because it'd be really inefficient use of soul. But it's perfectly fine to just hit them with a couple nail hits to build soul for later. So that works out.
Yep.
Oh, I love seeing this attack. So this is another new attack that sort of only exists in the later phases of the fight. And again, despite all the projectiles and stuff, the Hollow Knight does sort of stand still during that. So that's still very convenient, even if it's a little bit dangerous. Fine. Not too worried about this. Okay, doing it a second time is mildly inconvenient. But there we go. I can get a heal in here. Then we're fine. There we go.
There we go.
Now all I have to do is slurpity derp, and
Let's
then the
slurp
run
the
will be
orange
over.
juice.
Time will be coming up once the save icon appears in the lower right of the screen once the cutscene starts. So the screen will be black for a bit first. But yeah, we really are thirsty. I have sat here for 50 minutes without drinking anything.
Sip, sip.
Time to sip.
Is it orange juice? Time.
And we have become the Orange Lord.
We are the orange juice.
Me at breakfast be like,
The Orange Knight.
Orange.
now I'm just going to point out, that's a 47:37 real time, which means it's probably anywhere between a 44 and the low 46 in game time, which is how we actually time this, which is pretty good.
That's pretty.
on a
That is
D-Rust.
pretty good.
Because I was running like 47s, 48s, so I'm very happy with that. That's great, despite all the... Oh, hello, there's a dragonfly. Hi, little buddy.
It escaped the game.
It
Get
escaped the game.
Escaped the game. Get it.
Going turbo. All right. I think that'll be all for me. I'll be back tomorrow. I've got a hosting shift and another run late in the evening. And I'll be back in a bit, actually, on your couch for your run in just like an hour or so.
Hope you're ready for nuggies.
I'm so ready for nuggies. You know
I
I
will be
am.
in the crowd, and I am
No,
also ready
I'm
for
taking you on there.
Oh, am I on the couch as well now?
Yeah, no.
Okay, I will also be on the couch, ready for nuggies.
You're gonna have 4 commentators.
Look, I'm sorry. After this run, I need to.
You're a maniac. Anyway, let's try and get back on schedule best we can. Take it away, everybody.
Thank you so much for that run, Detail. And don't leave your chairs or seats or couches or beds because we are going to launch our
Okay.
next game.